reaction tonight. Still plenty of concern from residents after police discovered bodies and cremated remains of nearly 50 people inside Lankford Funeral Home in Jeffersonville. And tonight, new perspectives coming from families. Connor, you talk with a lot of them who tell you that they've seen some red flags for several weeks now.
Yeah, well, Isaiah, for these families who are already trying to process and grieve this loss of loved ones, they tell me that our conversations, through these conversations, I get this sense that the news is almost unbearable for them. And, they have a lot of unanswered questions tonight. Many do. But until we get those, one thing I've heard time and time again is for anyone who's been inside Lankford Funeral Home, they've noticed one thing or another that was kind of off, they say, at the time. They just didn't think much of it.
And this is just a little town.
A small town in shock.
It's shocking for the people here in this town.
After what they saw Friday, one by one, all 31 bodies, the 16 cremated remains of those who have passed.
Yeah, it just boggles my mind.
Kenny Kersey is no stranger to funeral homes.
It's not an easy business.
His family's funeral business served southern Indiana for over 160 years. He says a few years back, Randy Lankford gave him a tour of his then newly opened funeral home.
And we walked into the side room, and there was 5 bodies on stretchers in like a semicircle.
He says the longer they remained unrefrigerated, the more nervous he felt, but he brushed it off.
But looking back after what happened, it does seem fairly odd.
A sentiment shared by many, like those who trusted Lankford to care for their late loved ones.
I feel like he put on a front.
People like Derek Kessinger, now a single father of 2. He's lost a lot this year.
My dad, my wife.
Just days apart from one another. In the wake of 2 tragedies, he turned to Randy Lankford Services back in May.
He was willing to work with us because we didn't have much money. He did great.
Great, Kessinger says, until the day of his father's funeral service, and then again at his wife's.
We noticed that there was a really bad smell. Like if you was standing over a dead animal.
He received his wife's ashes from Lankford, but not yet his dad's. He'd been trying to get them for weeks, and then he saw what happened on Friday.
Oh, man. It's sick. It's just sick. It really is sick.
And now, clutching the chain he says he never takes off, the part of his wife that's still with him.
I really hope that this is my wife. I do.
Now, we reached out to Lankford Funeral Homes multiple times today and over the past few days as well. However, they couldn't be reached. And for anyone who has used Lankford Funeral Home services recently, Jeffersonville Police encouraged you to call Clark County Coroner's Office at 812-285-6535.